Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Ozzy, and it's been a minute. I'm making this video because I was on a podcast recently, actually. I'm gonna try to put everything in the links and all that comments. In the end, if I can't do it right, I'm gonna put the links in the comments. Uh, so I have a really good, close, long-time old friend. His name's Rimi, and he runs a podcast on Spotify. Uh, I know it's on Spotify. It's called Language of the Sun Podcast. And he has various people on. Some people, close people, some people family, some people he's learned from, etc. But various people who come and talk and tell stories and share their knowledge and also kind of where they are in their life. But they also talk about spirituality. And so he asked me to come on his podcast to talk about counseling and spirituality and kind of where I'm at with that and how that might incorporate in my work. And this is something I want to share because I shared it on the podcast and he seemed to think it was a really good thing. And I know he has good ideas and he thinks good well. He's a good, well-grounded person, down to earth. I love that man. So I thought it'd be a good idea to share this as well. And so here's what it is, right? This is something I share often with clients. Various people that come through my doors, usually everybody actually at some point or another in therapy. And it either comes in the beginning or like in the middle, but it comes up at some point in their time in therapy because this applies to all of us, right? Even if we're healthy, even if you're looking at this and you've never been in therapy before, you're probably doing great with this then, possibly. I don't know, I'm not a psychic. But these areas are, and my handwriting's sloppy, so let me bring this up and then I'll try to adjust. These areas are these 5 kind of categories that apply to all humans. Kind of like a plant needs certain things to survive, we need time and energy and activities and people and places and things in our life that fit these categories in a way that works for us, whoever we are, and in a manner that's enough to keep all this kind of balanced. Again, it's all about equilibrium. We're trying to figure out a nice harmony, a nice balance. And that's not easy in life because you have to juggle everything. I can't tell you how many freaking metaphors I've come up with people trying to validate their feelings of, I'm just trying to juggle all these things in life. Like, yeah, dude, that's living. And it sucks sometimes. But it's also really beautiful and really fun and really crazy and scary and amazing, etc., etc. So we talk about this because at some point when someone's talking to me, I start hearing how there's a deficit in one of these areas in their life or multiple areas. And so we talk about trying to put some time and energy into these areas, trying to unblock why they're stuck or why they've not been given attention, stuff like this. So Rami asked about where this comes up in work and stuff like that. And as a therapist, we talk about therapy, psychology, theories in psychology and whatnot, behavior modification and client-centered and all this other cool stuff in psych. I don't really talk about religion or spirituality religion, I guess, when I am doing therapy. Like, I'm not a preacher or nothing like that. But clients, when they bring in their faith or their spirituality, we can talk about it. But we discuss it in a manner of like values, and often this comes up to kind of find out, well, where is your spirituality as far as your attention and energy that you're giving into these various areas of your life. So these areas, they're mental, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual. When you put time and energy into them, they're nice and harmonious. The lines are straight. We want that. We want the lines to be straight. This is when you talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, my life is going pretty good, or things are going pretty well. Whether in a micro kind of moment, or where it's like the day has been pretty good, I can't complain. Or on a more macro kind of like zoomed out, their year, like it's been a really good year. I'm really grateful for this year. But these are going pretty well. And each of these, is like a whole other infinite category in and of itself. Because everybody, think of everybody on the planet. We all have a profile for this stuff. What matters to us, what we're into, what are we mixed up in, who do we engage with, etc. So I think of these and let me try to explain them. So mental well-being is about trying to figure things that you can interact with in life that can give you a sense of purpose, meaning, what's the word? Competency, productivity, stuff like this. We need to feel that. You know, sometimes people will talk to me and they'll be like, whether they're depressed or anxious, it'll be like, I'm just sitting around, or I'm starting to hate that I'm just like doing nothing. Like they don't like that they're doing nothing, or whether that's part of their depression or anxiety, but it's like sitting still, doing nothing, not working on something is driving them crazy. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not fulfilling some of this stuff, right? What good is life if you don't feel like purposeful? Like we're not just here to exist. Nihilism is not the way to go. You can't sit there and think that there's no purpose in life. Everything has meaning. At least that's usually what I try to push and talk about, because that's one thing I will promote or encourage. And then, of course, we talk about it as clients bring it up in their own belief. But we sit there and engage with different things. Some people tell me it's their work. Some people tell me it's their profession they're studying. Some people tell me it's just something they're studying, just for the hell of it. Some people tell me it's people they engage with. Some people tell me it's just chores they have to complete. Some people tell me it's just responsibilities and obligations they deal with, choices they make. But it helps them feel purposeful, productive, meaningful, competent. Hobbies often come up here. We often talk about competency and what do you do in life that makes you feel pretty good that you're good at it. I think I've seen throughout my grad school experience like so many different references of like, here's a list of how to be happy, or 20 things that will guarantee happiness, 10 things that make you happy. There's a lot of things. But a common thing that comes up on all these various perspectives is, yeah, we ought to do something daily or through the week that we're good at, right? Whether it's for a job or not, but do something that we can feel pretty good at. You know, we're not hurting people. We're not doing anything illegal. We're not, hurting ourselves. It's healthy. You know what I mean? But it would be good to do that. This helps us feel competent, sometimes purposeful, meaningful, etc. So, and then other emotions as well, other things we'll talk about. So yeah, mental well-being, emotional well-being. This is kind of like two things. One, it's what do you do to deal with stress, right? Let's face it, us humans go through our day, all the hours of the day. And sometimes we're dealing with ups and downs, chronic stress, acute stress, just stress out of nowhere, whatever. But it's not fun. So what do we do to deal with stress? So there's certain outlets, skills, certain behaviors, certain habits that we've developed to help cope. Maybe we listen to certain music. Maybe we go out for a break. Maybe we talk to some people, right? Maybe there are certain routines we do just to cool off, right? But what do we do to deal with stress? And then the other thing with emotional well-being is what do you do to bring in positive feelings, right? It could be something as simple as I like to look at clouds. So every now and then I'll just stare outside. It's like, good. Because that's like a tally on the board of trying to invite some positive feelings into your experience. And that's a good thing. For some people, it's like, yeah, no, I like to listen to music when I'm doing chores and whatnot. It makes me feel happy or good. Like, great. Excellent. For some people, it's like helping. Like, oh, I like to help so-and-so. And so I sit back and I like just offer whatever I can do. Like, awesome. Right? But what do you do to feel good? Maybe it's Pizza Fridays. Maybe it's coffee in the mornings. Maybe it's playing a certain game at night. Maybe it's watching a certain series, right? We get into things and we start to dedicate our interest and our thoughts and whatever emotions and time to this stuff to just get into it because it makes us happy. Nothing wrong with that, but we need it. So emotional well-being, how do you cope with stress and how do you bring in good feelings? Physical well-being. This is about the fact that we have a body, right? This is like a weird spaceship in and of itself, or like a weird ark of sorts, like a Noah's Ark, but an ark of sorts with a lot of different organisms on it, right? All these cells, all these things were made of just to like talk molecules and whatnot, just to sit here and do stuff. Have a sip of water. And I will, I'm talking all week. So we sit here and have this body to take care of in various ways. Do we work out in some way, shape, or form? I remember being in health class or gym class in middle school, hating it, high school, hating it, because I was never an athletic person. And I sit there and think now, it's like, damn, yo, I wish I really put myself into it, because we need to know how to do all that stuff. Just be active in some way, right? And then I hear so many friggin' injuries of people that are just trying to get active again. So like, we need to know our body in better ways. So it's everything. It's not just exercise. It's like your health overall, right? This category is about what do you do to put time and energy to your health, your sleep, your sleep, your diet, right? Are you getting enough water, right? Are you going to see that dermatologist about that thing on your finger? Are you seeing your doctor yearly? Are you taking vitamins if you're supposed to take a medicine, if you're supposed to take it? Are you doing certain exercises that you're supposed to do, right? Again, maybe there's nobody whipping your back telling you should do this, or it's going to punish you if you don't. But it's up to us. Otherwise, this thing starts to run down. We don't live in a world where it's so easy for any of us to just get a new body. That's not how it works, right? Maybe we'll get to like some more cyborg stuff, right? We're getting there, right? The flesh is weak. And so we'll sit there and have to take care of our body. And this comes up often, you know. Some people, maybe most people, are doing something like exercise, walks, gym, something, sports, recreational sports, things like this. But sometimes they realize like sleep is really off, right? They cannot go to bed on time, or they don't go when they want to. They can't lay and sleep. They don't sleep consistently, or waking up is miserable and emotional. So we talk about this stuff, you know, physical and what's going on, more than just like how many reps are you doing, what's your cardio number, whatever. Right? Physical. Social. Your social well-being is about the fact that we humans are social creatures. We like to talk, we like to engage, we like to connect and bond. You know, one of the things I'm really super grateful for, feeding my social appetite and my connection or need for connection, is my hobby community. For my models that I do is Warhammer miniature painting and whatnot. I love it. You know, I get into it. Now I just make dioramas and scenes and kind of spruce up little models. But talking with people online, discussing their artwork, it's art. Sometimes it's artwork. So much of it's artwork sometimes. It's gotten really cool. You meet some nice people. You know, you find out cool things about the hobby that you never knew before. You know, maybe you have fun opportunities with people too, as far as collaborations or new project ideas, inspiration. So all of us have to engage. Maybe we have people we definitely connect with and hang out with daily, weekly. Maybe we just meet up once in a while with somebody. Maybe we get online and, you know, connect on some way, shape, or form all the time through social media or whatever. But we need to fill this social bucket. We need to fill that appetite. Sometimes I think of these categories like a bucket of sorts, like a reservoir. And it's like our choices throughout the day may fill one or two of these, just one specifically, maybe various of these. So we have to think of like, yeah, what are we doing with our time? What are we doing throughout our day? And what purpose does it serve, right? So when I think of social, yeah, like what do we do to connect? Because we got to connect with people, and maybe it's just a little bit, maybe it's a lot. But in some way, shape, or form, we got to figure out until we feel full. The other thing is spiritual. And this is where I talk with my friend Rimi about it. You know, for a lot of clients, this comes up, and it's not the strongest. Because our society maybe has religion or like nothing, or like random stuff. And for a lot of people, religion has been hard. Sometimes they question. I think everybody questions at some point. But we talk about the religion, no doubt. And some people, I'm not knowledgeable about all of it. Like I said, I'm not a pastor or a priest. And if a client really wants to talk about from that space or really incorporate that in their healing, then I redirect them to a better avenue of sorts. But if we're talking about that, we bring it up in a way where it's like checking the oil, making sure it's good. And I can change oil pretty good, right? Pretty typical. So it's like, yeah, how do I help a client learn how to do that themselves? In this case, just like recognize that spirituality, when we talk about it in psychology, because I'm not gonna push a religion, we won't do that. But we will talk about like everybody's spiritual. We are spiritual creatures. Maybe we are like psychic creatures or creatures with that whole psychology and psyche that's really important. Shared consciousness, that's the friggin' term. We have shared consciousness, perhaps, right? But there's this part of us that we have to recognize, whether it's throughout the day, maybe in the week, in the month, throughout the year, that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, right? We are part of it, connected. We are connected to something that's more than just us, whether it's our family, whether it's our society, whether it's our career, our job, a religion, a belief system. Maybe it's feeling connected to just like a sense of energy or a bigger happening that's going on, but something, right? Religion's good because it gives us like a directive or a direct path, a structure to kind of really like figure things out. You know what I So I think of how I select things in my life. I feel like religion is like they're like presets. Some presets are awesome. I just saw this reel on Instagram where I think the dudes from Gorillaz for that one song, Feel Good. I think there was a preset that they used to make the beginning riff of that song or something. Like, so, sometimes presets are awesome. Hell yeah. And then I think of other things in spirituality or like people who find something that's like a mix or a different, like mixing colors, make something new, or discovering a new color altogether. We forget that we humans only see a small sliver of the spectrum. So I talk with people about what do they do to feel connected to something bigger than themselves. A lot of people look at different things, right? If it's not religion, it might be something like nature. Nature's a big one. A lot of people connect with nature and feel a sense of beauty, awe, connectedness, oneness. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Hug a tree. Touch grass. Some people look up at the stars. They think of the cosmos, the universe, how we're all stardust, right? It's interesting. Interesting stuff. Alternate realities or various universes. Interesting stuff. Some people believe in people. They find that they're connected to just all of us. Like I said, that shared consciousness thing. So they talk about trying to be a good experience. I like this one, right? I remember working at the hospital outpatient, and next to us was just the psychiatrist outpatient offices. And there was a really cool, how do I put it? There was a really cool frame, just a picture frame. And it wasn't a picture, it was just words. But it was all framed in art, like done nicely with font and all that cool stuff. And it was a phrase, and it said, be kind to everybody you meet because we're all fighting the big fight. I love that. I love that because, like, we're all human and we are just trying to exist in this existence of suffering sometimes. So you have to kind of like be a good energy, a good experience in the world if possible. And that's tough because we're all dealing with some stuff hanging on us, holding us back, getting in our way. And that's kind of like our personal mission is to figure that stuff out, right? And then through that process, like along the way, we're trying to sit there and be a good experience. It's not easy. So, life is not easy. So, I like to explore with clients. I'm not going to talk personally, obviously, about, people's stuff. But I find it's important to engage in things. To me, it's a lot of various things. I see worth in religion. So there's plenty of times I talk about God or think about God. And, what would that dude Jesus do if I was sitting having a coffee with him and Buddha, talking about choices? Would they frown on my choices or be somewhat lenient? So, or I think about just people. I like that people idea. Making good choices because you want to just be a good experience with the person next to you. You don't know what kind of life they live. Maybe they have to go back to an abusive person, to a crappy experience, to a verbally angry or no loving environment. Who knows? Who knows? So you want to kind of just be a good positive energy. And it's not easy. So we take care of ourselves in these various ways. We try to sit there and make choices throughout our day that help these various ways become harmonious. Because here's the thing. When life isn't going good or we don't find something in these different areas, we're almost hitting on 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep it short. Don't think of these lines as nice and straight anymore. When we're not making good choices or no choices, or we don't have something set up in this, system that works for us, you don't get nice choices. You get all these different lines, that go all over the place. Some completely just drop. Some, just go wherever the hell they want. My point is, it starts to get sketchy. It's messy. And this is where people talk to me about things like, I feel lost. I feel numb. I feel like I've just been watching life go by me. I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing and I have to exist. I don't know what the fuck to do. It sucks when you're out of whack. You're not in equilibrium. You're not in harmony. It's not fun. Sometimes it's just one or two of these. And other things people are doing good. Sometimes, like I say, it's all of it. But we slowly start to rebuild. Like after a fire, after a storm, you can't undo that. And that's why we try to talk in therapy, a nice chill environment to let people put their bags down and unpack what's been going on. Because after it's all settled, after the validation is done, I'm on your side, let's talk about that, how dare this, whatever, life, how dare you, life. We have to start talking about rebuilding. And so we go over people's lives, routines, choices, just to see where we can start getting these lines straight again. Nice and chill. So I want, as a therapist here now, sharing knowledge, I want you guys to try to think about your life and your choices. When I talk to clients about this stuff, the way to apply it is maybe sit down and write out your categories. Don't worry about the lines and stuff, but write out your categories. Start making bullet points of things that you engage in that apply there, right? That fill these reservoirs up. What fills these up a little bit, right? Maybe going to the gym does more than just physical. You feel emotionally well. You feel mentally well. You see friends at the gym. You feel spiritual because you feel every fiber of muscles and atoms in your body. Maybe the gym does everything. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your studies. Go over the list. You never know. But I would go over each one because I do this with clients. We talk about what's going on. Go over each of these categories and start putting out different points of your choices, your time of day, activities, your resources. I know not all of us have certain opportunities or resources just right there in front of us. But it's good to go over this and see where you can start making some differences, some choices. And get in the frame better. I hope this helps. Hopefully I can make a couple more, update this webpage, update this list of videos I got going. But yeah, any questions, shoot me something in the comments or whatnot, or send me a message, questions or whatnot. I'll see what I can answer. But I talk about this with clients weekly. It comes up for everybody. I've got new people coming this week. It's probably going to come up. sometimes I like to share this like first thing just because it helps someone like not feel crazy. They sit there and realize like, okay, so feeling like all this messiness was not just like a bit like, no, man, you're human. Don't worry, we'll fix you. So, yeah, I hope this helps. Y'all take care.